I can't remember things before the stroke and my past, and I can't remember certain things that happened during the stroke. It would just be blank in my mind. When I'm tired, I can't even remember what I had for breakfast the same day. But I do remember there being a nurse, and she was a complete angel because she was doing a job out of compassion. You know, when you get people who just work for a salary, that was not her. She was different. And I was so grateful to have had her by my side.
I remember there was nurses in the rehab hospital I was at, and one of the ladies
Yes.
there, who knows what she experienced, but she was in a diaper, and she was the lady opposite me. When she had to move her bowels, everybody on the floor knew about it. But that wasn't the worst
Oh,
part. That's probably terrible for her. It wasn't the worst part for
mhm.
me. The worst part for me was that they relocated the bin that held those soiled diapers in the hallway outside my door. And I was meant to eat dinner and lunch in that room. And it would smell
Yeah.
the entire day. And I had to have a number of conversations with the people who were caring for that lady, the nurses, and then escalate that to, the head nurse or the manager. I'm not sure who it was. But I'm in there now trying to recover from all the stuff that I got to recover from. My left side deficits, I can't walk, move my left hand properly, etc. And it's very early days in my recovery. I've got a fresh scar on my head. And I thought that all I had to do was say, would it be possible to move the bins away from the hallway? Just
Hmm.
take them
Hmm.
elsewhere where it's not in the
Yeah.
way of anybody. And they said no. And then I said, well, but it's uncomfortable, it's unpleasant. And then they played
Yeah.
but that lady is really unwell, etc. I'm not complaining about the lady and the condition that she's in. All I'm asking is that bin, please be relocated 100 meters that way. Just get it out of the
Hmm.
doorway. I understand your job. I understand everything that you're doing. I don't have an issue with that, but I am meant to eat here. That fell on deaf ears for a number of days. And I remember after about the third day or something like that, lunch was delivered. I would go to do my exercises, my rehab, and then I'd come back into the room to rest, have lunch, and then that cycle would repeat.
Hmm.
Lunch came and I put myself in my wheelchair. I rolled myself to the front desk and I invited the nurses to come to my room with me to have lunch with me. And they looked at me
Clever.
and they said, why? I said, just come, just bring your lunch and just come and have lunch with me, just so you can experience what I experienced. And then they were like, what are you experiencing? I said, I've been complaining about it for 3 days. And I understand the difficulty of the nature of the situation and the job. I totally get that. But that is not the right place to store that kind of waste. I'm sure
No.
there are rules around that, and the rules are not to store that waste in any public space where people can access it, infections,
Yes.
all that kind of stuff. Eventually, I won that little battle and they moved it down the road. And then there was one less drama for everyone to have to deal with.